Well, hey everybody. This is going to be the first full video in the new channel in the Gurge. I'm not new to YouTube. Been doing it for 4 years now almost. And my other channel is Adam's Playground. It is a RC car channel, and I'm going to keep that one RC car related. Hence the reason why I'm starting a new channel for something a little bit bigger and a lot more involved than an RC car. So for our first project on this channel, in the Gurge, and if you don't know what in the Gurge is, well, that's a Gurge. And I do know how to say garage. It's just what I've always called it. My wife asked me, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going out to the Gurge, do something. It's just a funny name that stuck. So for our first project, we have ourselves a 1966 Ford F100 with an inline six and a lot of problems. You know, it starts, it runs, it drives. But yeah, that's about the extent of it. There's a lot of other things that need to be done to this truck to get it back to good working order, good looking, and safe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the camera around and we're gonna kind of walk over this truck. Okay, from a glance, this does not look terribly bad. You know, it's kind of that old school ivory wheels and green paint job. From the front here, we've kind of got the ivory white grille, got some paint matched headlight surrounds, and so not too bad. Overall, it's a pretty straight truck. A little bit of waviness in the bed, some things here and there, and we'll zoom in closer to them, but overall, not terribly bad. Let's start up here at the snoot, since that's where we're at. So, as you can see, we got some Bondo. So, I'm assuming by the rust holes down here, this has got some rust in it, so we're probably going to be fixing that. But this also may be from some critter impact, because if you look down at the grill, we've got, you know, 4 fingers wide here, and on this side we've got roughly 2 fingers wide. So this truck originally came from West Virginia, so I'm assuming this took a West Virginia Bambi to the grill and to the front edge of the hood there. So I'm assuming we got some wompage there. Over here, there's a little bit more Bondo. I'm assuming that's rust. And up here, we've got some more Bondo pop. So I'm assuming more rust underneath here. The camera may not be picking it up very well, but you may notice some indications of brush paint. Yeah, this entire truck, you can see it down here. This entire truck was painted by hand with, you know, Sherwin-Williams paintbrush at some time. Overall, I believe this is the factory color, and this green here is the refurbished paint. But let's see, let's go driver's side. So overall, no big indications of rust out down here. Possibly some rust poking through here, so probably need to patch panel and some Bondo there. Doors look pretty good. Overall, bed looks great. Again, possibly some Bondo and rust repair there. Now there's a big honking patch back here. Whoever put the Bondo on just kind of lathered it on and smeared it out with the applicator and then brush painted over top of it. But I'm assuming that bent bumper there is the reason why we have that. Not saying there's not rust underneath there, but it looks like he backed into something and kicked that bumper into the bed and dinged it up. This sucks. So overall, tailgate doesn't look too bad, except for the house flashing repair that wraps all the way around and is screwed on through the backside. So pretty much the whole bottom of that tailgate is rusted out. So more than likely, this whole tailgate is just going to be replaced. I am not a body guy. I am not a sheet metal welder. So that looks like it's going to be redonkulous to try to fix for me, personally. Back bumper, we've got the big tow hitch type bumper. Probably going to ditch that and go to a chrome style smooth bumper like the front. Taillights, they're there. They've got cracks on both sides. Taillight surrounds are all banged up and stuff. Those will probably live for now, but eventually those will get replaced. We have a drop-in bed liner. I'm not even ready to look underneath of the bed. I poked my head underneath of here when I looked at the truck. Let's see. Yeah, can't really see much. I gotta get the spare tire out and actually lift this thing up, but I'm assuming there is a fair amount of rust and rot in the bed, so the bed liner may stay in it for quite some time. We'll see. Thankfully it does have a rubber bed rail cap on it before they put this in, so this did not rub through the paint and rust out the entire bed cap, except where they put the sheet metal screws in to hold the bed in. And let's get inside and take a look. Well, as you can tell, we don't have a gas cap here. We have a gas cap here. That's because we have the cool, you know, suffocate yourself with gas fumes, gas tank in the cab. Otherwise, I'm not too worried about this. You know, this isn't going to be a daily drive or anything. So, you know, we'll just clean this up. It runs well. The gas looks clear, so I don't think there's a whole lot of rust in the tank. So we're probably just going to scuff that up and spray paint it black and live with it. Have a fire extinguisher and a bumper cover, so that's handy. Some mousage has come in, but overall not too bad. Seats definitely need to be redone. Backs are in decent shape. A little bit of cracking up here. The bottom, I'm not even pulling the cover off because I can feel all up underneath here is torn up vinyl. So I know the bottom is gone, but the foam seems to be fine. There's not a giant divot and there's not a lot missing over here. Now I may pull all this off and there'll be, you know, 15 different layers of, you know, furniture foam stuck underneath there. But for right now, I'm 70% confident we don't have to replace the seat foam just to cover. Looking in here, yeah, it's plain. Roll up windows, door handle, air conditioning. Not a whole lot going on. I have not fully explored this yet, but when I did look at it, yeah, be prepared. Yeah, needs floor pans. So that's going to be probably issue number one we're going to have to go after. The passenger side looks better. It has a lot of rust, so we're probably going to have to replace the floor pan over there because it is rusty really bad. This one, yeah, we've got a lot of ventilation in this side. So, yeah, it is what it is. We're going to have to figure out how to weld sheet metal. So, but overall, it's just a plain Jane Ford interior. No headliner. We got the corner bits. We have a dash pad for a reason. Dash is all cracked up. Dash pad will stay. We'll clean that up and, you know, that'll live in here forever. The, let's see. So it looks like we have 62,718 on the odometer. Yeah, that's, got to be at least 117. The brake pad has a significant amount of wear there. Clutch getting nice and shiny there. Gas pedal looks fairly decent. We have a Hurst shifter for the 4-speed, so you know that's 20 horsepower right there. This guy, I'll show you underneath the hood, but we have what looks like an Uga horn underneath there, and then getting in here, yeah, evidently you have animal sounds and a PA on here. So obviously somebody was a jokester that had this before and like going around making, you know, sheep and rooster noises at people. Otherwise, we got the ignition stick bit there. Don't know what that does. It starts with the key, so not sure what that is. Lights, wipers, cigarette lighter. What? Not heavily used, but used. You have your warning flashers, which I'm assuming is that. It does not have a label that I can see. Choke, fan, and then we have some aftermarket Sunpro gauges. I'm assuming none of those really work. You know, cigarette lighter. We have that. The has no stereo in here, which is odd because it has a antenna over there. So I don't know if Joe Bob had a CB in here at some point. So let's crack open the glove box. This really threw me off. We have a mini microphone. Oh, that goes to your PA. plugs in here, and you can, you know, jam out and sing some Shania Twain as you go down the road. The actual owner's manual is still in here, and it has the registration from 2008 in it. We got a plier and a flathead screwdriver, some fuses, and some other random bits. So we know we have probably electrical issues, and you know, we have our emergency toolkit there. Boy. Thankfully, when it was stored for about the last 10 years, it evidently was kept fairly dry, because it doesn't reek of old mildewy truck. It just reeks of old truck. So a whole lot better than it could be. Let's see. Oh, I've got this guy. We have a lock. I don't know what the hell that is. It pulls and it pushes, but I have no idea what it actually locks. So I'm gonna have to investigate that. The brake lever does not work. It doesn't come out. So I'm assuming those lines are rusted solid. Great, we'll have to replace all those. So maybe that's the parking brake? I don't honestly know, to be 100% honest. I have not crawled up underneath there and figured it out. Oh, one other interesting thing. This is where the original spot mirror is mounted. So it had a tang that goes down in here, bolts into the frame of the door, has an arm that comes out, has your little like 5-inch mirror. He plugged those off and stuck what looked like aftermarket J.C. Whitney S10 mirrors or something on here. I mean, yeah, it's a bigger mirror, but as rattly as this thing is, I can't see you actually seeing much of anything out of it. You know, objects may appear completely blurry in mirror. So thankfully we do have a rear view in there. But like I said, this thing has a lot of potential to look really, really cool. It's just a lot of work I am not accustomed to doing. So this is going to be an adventure for you, for me, and let's hope it doesn't burn my shop down. But before we go, let me hop in this guy and start it up, because you guys have not seen the old engine compartment. I was about ready to send you guys off. Ow. I was about ready to send you guys off without, you know, showing you the cool bits. So, temperature gauge, I'm assuming does work down there. It has not been started this morning. It was dropped off last night. I have not started it up today at all. The brakes, they're there, but they go all the way to the floor, but they do hold the truck. So we'll get this out of gear. Maybe, there we go. Let's see if the old choker works. Little choke, she fires right up. A little bit of choke, fires right up. Push the choke in, she idles down. Lumber, 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 lumber. Alright, there you go. Giant big block Ford motor. Nope, it's the smallest straight six that came this year. It's a 240 cubic inch straight six. There is our giant PA slash sheep yeller at passersby. Everything in here is pretty much old school. It does have upgraded ignition, so that is an electronic distributor, electronic ignition box. So whoever had it before the guy I bought it from did go to the trouble of swapping over to electronic ignition, so I don't have to fart around with points and, you know, having to sit around having to file points and adjust all that stuff and, you know, fiddle around with that. I just have to worry about that going bad. Haven't even tried this, but it looks like the original horn is still hooked up. We have this awesome bit of kit. I don't think that's factory. Maybe, but has a single barrel Harley carburetor on there. I have no idea what, I'm assuming it's a Ford carb. Has the old oil bath oil filter in there, so that's terrible. I might look to swap that out with something not as messy and inconvenient. We've got a lot of orange wiring going around, so whoever did this a while ago, both only had one spool of orange wire to wire up all this stuff, and you know, did us all a favor and left them clipped off way too long and nice and pointy. So before I start working in here, we're going to clip all of those off and re-zip tie with something that's not going to enrage me when it's stabbing me in the arms and side while I'm trying to work on this. 12 volt ignition, you know, no big, I don't think that's anything new. Oil looks clean. Ugh. Ice cube juice, I don't know if you can see it, but it is green. Inside is kind of scaly, so may try to flush that out, but it's a pretty stout 3-core radiator for a tiny little inline six, so I think we'll probably be okay with a little bit of scale. Manual steering, that is a raggedy old gearbox that you can feel kind of grindy when you're steering, so that's going to have to get replaced. Otherwise, you know, all in all, it's not bad. It's just not great. Well, guys, this is project number 1 and is going to be the main project of the channel for months. Now, on this channel, I'm not going to do twice a week videos like I do on the other channel. You guys will probably get maybe twice a month videos on this. This is going to be slow going and figure out what I need, order some stuff, get that done, save up money to order the next round of stuff and get that done. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the intro to the main project on In the Garage. If you guys have any questions, drop them down below. I might know the answer to it at this point. I know very little about this truck. I know very little bit about bodywork. I know very little bit at all about welding sheet metal properly. I've been watching videos, so hopefully YouTube can teach me how to not destroy this truck. Anyway, guys, everybody out there, you guys have a wonderful day, and see you guys on the next episode.